Welcome to Incite Innovation, an IE podcast that empowers innovation leaders and inspires teams to think boldly, act strategically, and spark transformation. I'm your host, Anna, an AI-generated digital twin and your guide to exploring modern innovations. And as always, alongside co-host Isaac, a knowledgeable virtual avatar able to mold to the thoughts of top industry experts. Join us as we explore key trends, practices, technologies, and ideas that shape the future of innovation leadership. Whether you're looking to inspire your team, stay ahead of the curve, or build a culture of innovation, you're in the right place.
Welcome, everyone. Isaac here, your expert guide. Happy to continue our journey together.
Today, we're looking at how sports teams are using analytics to innovate in their recruitment strategies and drive championship outcomes. Specifically, we will focus on the Florida Gators collegiate basketball team.
That's right, Anna. We'll break down how data is reshaping team building in college sports and what to consider when building your own business teams to take on critical objectives.
So, Isaac, your knowledge today comes from this front office sports article titled, How Florida Built a Final Four Roster with Under-Recruited Players. This focuses on how Florida's coaches used analytics to enhance decision-making in order to win on the margins. But what does that really mean in the context of a basketball game?
Essentially, it's about finding those small advantages that can add up to a significant impact. Think of it like this. In 2022, head coach Todd Golden was hired to reboot the basketball program and brought along with him Jonathan Safir as Florida's Director of Basketball Strategy and Analytics. In his role, he is looking at data during a game to identify tendencies of the opposing team. He might see that a particular player struggles under pressure, or that a certain defensive strategy consistently leads to turnovers. By analyzing these statistics in real time, they can then influence the team's playing strategy. The article shares an example of how Golden pointed out the data which led to the team deciding to foul Texas Tech players in the final minutes of the Elite Eight game and, critically, which players to target. That kind of insight can be a game changer.
Okay, that makes sense for in-game adjustments. But what about before the games even start? How do the Gators decide which players to recruit in the first place?
That's where the use of analytics becomes even more interesting. According to the article, the recruitment process starts with a mix of analytics, often using KenPom statistics as a baseline, and then layering in a variety of other numbers to really understand a player's potential. Safir believes that the Gators focus on different stats than other teams, and that's worked to their advantage. For example, while some teams might focus on basic counting stats like points or rebounds, the Gators are digging deeper into advanced metrics. They might look at a player's steal and block rate from a defensive end to assess their defensive capabilities to get a more holistic view.
So it sounds like they're really using data to try and find hidden gems that other teams might overlook.
Spot on. And it's not just about individual players either. The article mentions that even non-conference scheduling is influenced by these advanced metrics. They're using data to strategically select opponents that will best prepare them for conference play and the postseason.
All this data sounds amazing, but sports can be unpredictable. What about the human element? Is recruiting all numbers and algorithms?
Not at all, Anna. That's where the eye test comes in. After the numbers have vetted a player's potential, the coaches and team personnel watch the player perform. They assess things that numbers can't quantify, like court awareness, leadership, and how well they make decisions under pressure. Crucially, a player has to visit Florida's Gainesville campus so the team can assess how well they may mesh with the rest of the team, program, and community. The article emphasizes that not every program relies so heavily on these visits. It is not only the skills of the player, but the personality fit.
Okay, so how does NIL, name, image, likeness process, affect the Gators' approach to recruiting?
That's a really relevant question in today's college sports landscape. According to the article, there's a preliminary conversation about the range of compensation a player would agree to. If the numbers are too high, the player isn't even considered. It is not about trying to outbid other schools. The Gators want to be a good deal, but they are not in the business of getting into bidding wars. More importantly, if the relationship feels mutual, a player will sign. The program only wants players who are dedicated to Florida, rather than just looking for a paycheck. It is about the team, not the money.
So what's the final piece of the puzzle? What do the Gators look for in these recruits beyond just athletic ability and NIL considerations?
That's a great question. It's all about the right fit. The article quotes Safir, emphasizing that they've never landed a player simply by being the highest bidder. The Gators prioritize players with great attitudes, strong work ethics, and a genuine desire to be part of the team and culture they're building. They ensure the players are taken care of financially. But that's only a part of the equation. It is about so much more than just money, as previously discussed.
And how has this approach worked out for the team?
It seems to be paying dividends as they successfully navigated the March Madness tournament and won the 2025 national championship. These wins show that their strategy is attractive to top talent and the outcomes their program desired. Also, during the Elite Eight post-game interview, Coach Golden emphasized that he didn't care if their team's individual players weren't ranked high. This reflects a confidence in the team's unique approach and the players they've specifically chosen.
Okay, so it sounds like the Gators are really trying to strike a balance between crunching the numbers and trusting their gut. Is that a fair summary?
Precisely. And Coach Golden even touches on this, stating that they are, quote, trying to bridge that gap also of being analytical while also using a little bit of a human element to make some certain decisions. He seems to think that this approach is a winning formula and is proof of concept with how they are trying to build their program.
It's fascinating how the Gators are trying to get an edge. So to quickly recap, we've seen how data analytics is revolutionizing sports recruitment in college basketball, but it also works for the business world too.
Exactly, Anna. By blending advanced metrics with traditional scouting and a focus on team culture, programs can identify players who are not only skilled but also a great fit for the team. This approach can lead to sustained success, competitive edge, and is not solely applicable to the world of sports. Any leader looking to construct a team should keep this in mind when understanding how to form the optimal team to win together.
Thanks for breaking that down, Isaac. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast for future episodes on the latest insights that impact business, technology, and innovation. Or check out our website at https://innovationage.com.
Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share Incite Innovation with your friends.
Until then, keep innovating and remember to get started today.